Hey guys, welcome to my walkthrough of the challenge mode boss part 1 on heroic difficulty. Today we're going to talk about the boss and how to get it clear on it. It's once again, I want to point out that these are heroic difficulties. You don't get anything from doing this. You don't get any like bonus rewards or anything like that. So don't sweat it if you can't do it, but it is a fun challenge mode. I tried to do this boss on stream yesterday and I got absolutely clapped. So it's cool that they finally added like a very, like I said, difficult encounter that you have to actually use a little bit of brain thinking for. So there's a couple different things that are kind of going into making this fight so difficult. One is the heroic mode buffs themselves. These obviously require you to use a shield unit and apply a frost weakness to the target. Otherwise, you're going to be doing a lot less damage than you normally would. So it's important to have that. And then the boss herself has one very difficult mechanic here. Focused awareness. This requires you, so she puts a shield up on herself every turn, which is actually significantly like thick, and it requires you to do a bunch of damage to it before you can actually hit her with targeted active attacks. So the only way to get through this shield is like melee attacks, AoE damage, and out of turn attacks. So it really does kind of limit the team building. We're going to talk about team building in a minute here. If you just want the quick how to do this fight, like try and copy it one for one, just go ahead, fast forward to the second half of this video. If you want to stick around for like discussion on team building, just hang out here for a second and we'll get to that. So but yeah, the big difficulty of this is like 60% team building, 20% knowing the boss and the mechanics and how to do the fight, and then 20% resetting because of bad RNG. There's a lot of RNG in this fight, and so if you're going to try and copy what I do in this video one for one, just note that your results can vary differently depending on who the boss decides to target with some of these abilities and where she wants to jump to. So let's hop in and let's talk team building real quick. Okay, so we're at the boss here at the character selection screen. Let's talk team building, since this I feel is the biggest factor in completing this mission successfully, since you have to have a team that can get past the boss's damage shield every single turn. Like I said, the two easy answers to that are AoE / dot damage and out of turn damage from follow-up attacks. I've had success with a couple different teams, which we'll talk about, but if you're not, this really does rely on borrowing a high segment character. If you are not borrowing like a segment 6 Lind or a segment 6 Klukai from somewhere, you're really going to struggle. I'm not going to say it's impossible without borrowing at least one segment 6. But if you don't own one and you try and go in here with no segment 6, I think you're going to really struggle to beat this. There might be a team comp that I don't know about that can be pretty useful on this, but I've tried a bunch of different things, and this is it's kind of limiting on your team building. So we need a shield unit. We need a shield unit to deal with the heroic mode difficulty buffs, and then we're going to want some indirect damage on the target here. So like I said, the two teams that I've had good success with are the Klukai / Lin team. Either one of them as segment 6 works. Like I said, a segment 6 Lin by herself or a segment 6 Klukai by herself works just fine. We'll talk about that. I'm going to show a example here with segment 6 Klukai because once again, that's probably the one that everyone can borrow. So we'll go through that. Another team that I've had really good success with is the fire team. Chongju Vector with Lewis especially works very well. These three together make this fight a lot easier. Just keep in mind, if you're using Lewis, make sure you have the key on her that allows non-burn units to do the volley fire. That's kind of important. So let's do an example team. I've tried other teams with Leva and such. The problem with the Leva team is, even though she does AoE and melee damage, you have to bring Andrus. And well, actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Leva team might be very successful if you use Belka. I know, right? Andrus in this fight is actually a huge liability. She dies so easily because, as we'll get to in a minute here, the boss does a lot of AoE mechanics, and she ends up soaking damage for like 2 to 3 people, including her turrets. She gets one shot almost every single turn, and even though she has the ability to not die on the first one shot, it'll be on cooldown and she'll die to the second spin attack. So Andrus is a huge liability in this fight, and you need a way to apply negative charge. You might be able to use a Leva with her key that allows you to put negative charge on, although that's really suboptimal. You could probably get a jank set up with Leva, but I find that it's just way too much effort. Same thing with Niketa. Niketa can do out of turn damage and do a lot of damage and chunk the boss really hard. But the problem is, because the boss is jumping around to different parts of the arena, it's really, really difficult to have the dog placed in the correct area. So those are my experience. There's some other team combos that might work, but we're just gonna go with basic ones. So I'm gonna borrow a segment 6 Klukai. We'll just take I don't know, this one right here. Looks pretty good. Put her here, one of these back 2 tiles. You'll see why in a second. And then we'll kind of fill in a team around here. We'll put Michti up here. Actually, she can go right here. And then once again, we're going to want someone to deal with shields and debuffs, which of course is going to be Alva. Alva is kind of like the shield unit for this event. You can use Xiaomi as well. Xiaomi works just fine. Alva just is a little more offensive, which is kind of what we want. This is somewhat of a damage race. And then for our last 2 slots, we need a way to refresh Klukai's alt. This is, in my opinion, why actually the Lind borrow is even easier, because you don't need to bring a Pretia. We're going to have to bring Pretia just to refresh Klukai's alt. But if you're borrowing Lind, you don't need that. You just bring Michti and, you know, have a good time. Lind, I feel like, is actually like a lot less thinking. But we have Pretia. And then finally for our last slot, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So this boss hits really, really hard, like really hard. Like she'll one-shot your units most of the time. She's got 5,000 attack, and most of her abilities do more than that, so like 1.5 times damage. So this is gonna hit most of your units for like 6,000 to 7,000 damage. As you notice, none of the units have that much HP, so you have to either bring a lot of shields. So if you're gonna bring Alva, you could also dump Xiaomi in there as well. I've had less success with this. Or you're gonna bring Springfield. Springfield, I feel like, makes this fight so much easier. I won't say it's an auto include, but man, is it comfy. Going back to borrows as well, you could borrow a segment 6 Springfield. Works really well. Borrowing a segment 6 Springfield and running the fire team, which we'll kind of preview later. I'll show some more examples of teams. Works really well as well, because her bird does out of turn damage, so that applies to it. Let's use this team, and then we're going to kind of talk through the mechanics, and then I'll show a few more examples at the end. So we'll just kind of show you what to do here. So this has got all our bases covered. We got a shield, we got a lot of extra HP buffer, and then we got our main damage dealer being Klukai. So right off the bat here, when dealing this boss, she's going to apply her debuff to one random target. If it goes on your main damage dealer, just restart. It can go on Alva, that's fine. Ideally, you'd want to just restart the match until you get Springfield here. This causes problems, you'll see why later. Mostly because when you end turn, it's going to hand it off to other people. But we're just going to restart here real quick. I'm just going to restart until we get it on Springfield. Okay, I did a bunch of restarts. I finally got it to put it on Springfield at the beginning here. Michti also moved to this side. The first turn here is going to be standard. The main strategy for this fight is kill the adds as soon as they come. They do a lot of damage, and they will one-shot people if they're not in cover. And then after that, focus the boss down and try and pop her shield every single turn so that you can actually get targeted damage on him. I'm not going to comment too much on the fight from there. I'll just kind of talk about things as they come up. But first turn, all we're going to have to make sure is that Springfield is baiting the far attack, which is this first ability she does. So we're going to want to go ahead and initiate with Springfield here. And at the same time, we're also going to try and stay 3 tiles away from anyone so we don't pass the debuff off. Now, if your Klukai that you're borrowing is not super strong, this might not one-shot both these enemies over here. in which case don't worry about it, because they will detonate the second time when she does her zoom again. So I should note a couple things happened there. Because she couldn't actually get line of sight on Springfield, she just ignored her first attack. She tried to do the furthest target gets hit. Springfield was the furthest target, but was not in line of sight, so she just blinked that attack out. And then she ran over here to cover. The boss always likes to end in cover, and she really likes to favor this corner because of the full body cover here. So just get comfy in this corner. It happens quite a bit. So let's just go ahead and start moving everyone into positions. The next thing she's going to do this turn is she's going to try and hit the red target, but she's going to jump to an ally before she does that. This is a little weird because she seems to always jump the furthest target away from the red ally. It doesn't say that in the ability anywhere. It doesn't specify, but I've also had it that sometimes she jumps directly on the red target, so it's pretty random. Try and just always have someone far away on the other end to bait the attack. So we're gonna have I think Klukai do that, but to do that first, we're going to have Alva come here. And then we'll have Mishti go. And once again, we're going to try and get as far away as possible without messing up the next turn's positioning. And we're going to come and hide over here. This way, when the boss teleports, it's going to jump to one of these spots over here, and she'll be very far out of range of AoE for other teammates. And then Springfield, you're just going to hang out right where you're at, actually. It's fine. Let's throw some healing on HT here. And put some healing on yourself. She hit Springfield. It's hard to see there. Now she's going to try an AoE, but luckily we moved far enough away that only one target gets hit with the AoE. Or two, I guess. These ads are way over here. We're going to try and ignore them for a turn. I'm going to hope Michi doesn't get one shot by one of them. We'll see what happens, but this turn is pretty much a repeat of the last turn. Keep Springfield with the red debuff over here. Try and LOS the boss's ability, because once again, it's going to target the furthest. And we'll just continue from there. Other thing you don't want is this turn we don't want Pretia to be one of the closest targets, because the boss will do a slash ability. So we're going to want to bring Pretia a little further away. So once again, it's not that important if she doesn't get her attacks off. We want Alva to come up. Throw the liquid nitrogen down. This is a dangerous turn because everyone's going to be really low on HP. This is the turn that Springfield's ult wears off. So if you're feeling spicy, you can let these enemies live for a turn. They should be okay. But just keep in mind that it can get a little dangerous. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to have Klukai end here, and we're going to use the conveyor belt to get a little further away. Actually, no. No, we don't. That's a little too dangerous. We'll just end here. No, I broke Galva's cover. This could be a problem. Nope. All right, so that's a rewind. So like I said, if the boss targets like that, you just got to rewind and redo it. Okay, so it looks like Mishi's going to live. So we'll rewind that, and we'll just end Klukai in a different spot. Let's bring her to... What if we did this? If we come to here... And then we'll have Klukai come to over here by Michi. She might even be able to soak this attack from the ranged guy. Oof. Almost another one shot. It's a very dangerous turn because you don't have Springfield's ult up. Sometimes it just requires a little bit of resetting and trying to get it right. Okay, so for here, it should be pretty straightforward. We'll have Springfield's ult up again. She didn't transfer the mark. Sometimes she shoots somebody and transfers the mark. If so, just kind of move that mark. If it goes, to be honest, if the mark goes on Klukai at any point in the fight, it's a reset. Don't bother trying to do it. So we're gonna do opposite corner again. So we'll have Springfield here. Spread out a little bit. Because I'm just thinking about how Klukai is going to have to zoom. She's going to have to zoom up one here. She's probably going to have to kill this guy. So we're actually going to bring everyone over to this side. Don't think we can hit both of them. Unfortunate. We are one tile off. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet here and just kill the ad. So we'll kill the ad, zoom this way, and keep the boss away from the rest of the team. From here on out, the fight is a lot more simple now that you've gotten all the ads down. Sometimes you could be killing the boss this turn if you have good DPS, like you're borrowing a really good Klukai or something. But if not, just continue doing what you're doing. We'll see. This might be a reset. We're gonna try it. The problem with that when this happens is this slows down your DPS so much. This might require a reset though. Springfield is also out of range of Klukai. I think we went a little too far. Actually, we're going to redo that one. Once again, a little bit of RNG. We went a little too far away from the team, actually. I think we're going to try and end, like, maybe over here. The boss will try and come to here in AoE. Because she always likes to hit multiple people when she does her sword AoE. No, or not. Okay, so for that time she didn't do the red mark. Once again, I have no idea why. I can't explain to you why it does sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. We'll hold that off, but now we're just going to continue back to what we've been doing and rinse and repeat. We're going to do a lot of damage this turn and hopefully get her into the danger zone. Just make sure that Pretia is in range to clip the AoEs. Once again, the only person we don't want to get hit this time is Klukai because she just got hit last time. Springfield can come all the way up to the box here. Who can we heal? No one of import. I think she's just going to heal her best. I'm going to heal Pretia because Pretia might get slashed here. We'll heal ourselves. Hopefully you can get a kill this turn or next turn. Like I said, depending on gear and stuff, you might be able to just end it. We can stand there. I'm just checking to make sure that we're not within 2 tiles. So if the boss goes right there, she can't hit multiple people because we don't want her to heal multiple times. Oh, I forgot. Klukai's not supposed to get hit with this sword attack because of her debuff, but I got lucky and she lived. Klukai should have been over there to be safe, but we're good. We should probably get a kill this turn. We'll hold Springfield to the end of the turn, and then once again, Klukai will come over here and heal. Alva's actually going to be furthest target already on this turn because she's kind of already there. So, but this should be an easy kill. We'll wait, actually, on Klukai's turn. Zoom to here. Because once Klukai breaks the shield, then Alva will actually be able to do damage. There we go. Once again, Alva does a lot of damage when the shield breaks. And I think we're going to be getting a kill or very close to a kill once Klukai's turn ends. And we'll just go over here. I'm getting kind of sloppy because of I think we're gonna get the kill here. There we go. Probably should have planned that last move out better. But anyway, that's how you do it with the Klukai team. I'm gonna do a couple very quick summaries of other teams. This video is already, once again, another 20-minute video because he talks so much. But we're gonna show the Lin team, and then I'm gonna show the Fire team very quickly. Okay, this is the Lind example. Once again, we got it started with Springfield. The reason I like Lind is because you don't need someone to recharge her ult if you're borrowing a segment 6 Lind. All you need is Michi for the damage buffing. So in this team, we actually freed up a slot, and we can put Tolol in, which we'll see does a lot of damage and a lot of work. So I'm going to speed through this turn again. Yet, same as before, we'll go ahead and hit some enemies. And Tolol's going to be on cleanup duty for the first turn here. If you're mega greedy with Lind, you can get super aggressive and hit all the ads. Like I said, if you're borrowing a strong enough Lyn, this should kill almost all the ads. Just be careful, this puts you in a dangerous spot. Although the first turn it's not so bad, because once again, range attack is going to go on Springfield. She's only going to do the sword attack, and you have Springfield's ult up. You should be fine. We have a survivor over here, which is Tolol's job to take care of. Springfield's bird also does a really good job of preventing people getting comboed down because it heals between attacks. Springfield will come to here and solo the buff. For bosses like this, because of the stage debuff, that if they don't have a phase weakness, I like to have Springfield shoot the boss if I can without endangering anybody or passing the debuff on. Right, so this will be fine. This will implant the water weakness. Luckily, the boss ended within range of the liquid nitrogen, so we don't need to change anything for Alva's turn. We do just need to keep track of where the boss is going to teleport to. She's going to teleport to Michi this time, because Michi should be the furthest one away, because I'm going to pile everyone up over here. And then she'll try and do an AoE. So the AoE will probably be in this area, so we got to be a little careful. We're going to have Lind and Tolol stay on this side for the most part. Or actually, wait, we have Lind to go first. Because if Lind hits hard enough, she will... Oops. Small mistake there. Gotta have Michi go first. Gotta apply Toxic Inundation. There we go. So this team I feel is a little better just because it can free up a lot of extra damage from your teammates. You don't have to wait. Like I said, Tolol is now going to pile a bunch of damage on the boss. So even though Lind herself doesn't do as much as like a mega cracked out Klukai, the flexibility you get of having to bring teammates that can do damage outweighs it. So Lind bros just keep winning. I'm a very notorious Lind shill, so that's not. So that time it decided to teleport to that. This is kind of bad because I'm going to hit 3 times instead of like 1 or 2, but not the end of the world. This is the dangerous turn once again. Turn 3 is when the debuffs get a little spicy. Let's have... I'm going to top up Lind just to be safe. Give her the attack up buff. I think this is going to go on the boss. No, it didn't. Oh well. For this target is going to be Michi. I hope Michi doesn't get one shot here. We actually might be able to solve that. This is kind of goofy because, like, Alva's so far away. No. Once again, be mindful of how many targets are getting hit with the sword strikes. Don't worry about cover too much. You don't really need it. It's actually more for the boss than you. Lind has the buff on her, I believe. Yeah, so we don't want Lind to get hit with the slices. So I have to come over here, which is a little awkward, but. And we're actually going to try and bait with Tolol. I'm going to try and get Tolol to... well, she's got the... Somebody might get clapped. We're going to see. Although Tolol takes triple turns here, so I'm hoping the debuff will fall off. One more turn? Did it fall off already? Another reason why Tolo makes this fight really good, only if you can attack the boss. Okay, so the debuff did fall off, so Tolo can actually take a hit here. It might be kind of dicey though, because we don't have Springfield's ults up. But I'm hoping she can kind of bait the boss in this direction. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so she can't hit both of them. Pro. So if we stand right here, we should be fine. I don't want to stand there because otherwise the boss will just hit Springfield and Tolo. Reach to live. What a champ. Perfect. Could not have planned that better myself. Easy turn 4 kill. We'll just Springfield ult for funsies. Boss also ended Lex to the Lich with Nitrogen again. Made this really easy. She goes. Lind goes. Should be a kill. Okay, easy. Let's do Fire Team next. Finally, the last team I wanted to show off is this abomination of a team. I'm borrowing a Segment 6 Springfield for this. You can borrow a Segment 6 Alva as well, or even a Segment 6 Lewis. They both work. And other than that, it's just the two typical Fire Bros. This team does pretty well, and we're just going to kind of breeze through it as usual. I restarted enough here so that it started, the debuff started on Springfield. And let's just get to it. So we'll have Hongju come to a relatively aggressive position here. And we're just going to put a little damage on the boss and the ads first. I think we're just going to stand right where we're at. Because we don't want to pass the red debuff to anybody. I'm going to get super aggressive here. This should clean up most of the ads. Yep. The boss is going to heal a lot of this damage back. She takes her turn. We can alleviate some of this problem. Actually, we're just gonna... Yeah, we'll just... So we're running in Segment 6 Springfield, so we need to be worried less about the ads, because we have enough HP here. But when the bird counterattacks, it heals a ton. Ads are less of a concern on this team comp, but they're still really annoying. Let's see if we're all in good spots there. Let's see if we can clean these up a little bit. So, didn't get hit with the debuff this turn, or the sword debuff, so we can stand right next to the boss. She's gonna teleport over here to Springfield because Springfield's the opposite side, so be a little bit aware of that. It's gonna be really annoying because the boss is probably going to try and take cover in this corner, so we kind of need to like keep that in mind too. And we finish the boss's shield off. Okay, so this will break the shield. Then it'll allow Lewis to do her ult. Next turn, we really have to focus on cleaning up these ads. Alright, well, the boss came all the way back to where she originally started. Let's move Springfield over to here, and first we have to have Chongju. So we don't want, the only person we want to get hit with the sword this time is Vector. She did not get hit with the slash, which works out pretty well. Chongju's going to stand right here. The boss, I believe, is in range. This, if we shifted this one over. Yeah, the boss is still in range of the liquid nitrogen, so we don't have to do anything there. But we are going to clean up some of these ads because they're getting a little much. Before we do that, let's have Vector go. We have to get the buff off of the debuff off Lewis first, so let's come to here. This should kill him. Lewis can then take her turn. She will finish up on this guy, which will transfer the debuff to Lewis. Perfect. And now when Vector ults, she'll hit everybody, and these tin soldiers should probably do a lot of cleanup here. Let's make sure that we hit the boss, though. That's kind of important. Go. That's why we wanted the debuff off Lewis, so that when she did all these tin soldier attacks were not reduced. Damage her. And let's finish off this guy just to be safe, and then it'll be pretty easy sailing. Let's make sure we're standing in a good spot. So Alva took the sword attack, so she can't take it again. I lied. She did not take the sword attack, so she is fine to. Actually, we're gonna come here just to be safe. We still want to be in range of the boss for counters, but this way the boss won't be able to hit Alva. She'll probably just stand there and attack Vector. Oh, got a little spicy. Okay. As my game is choking to death. But this is okay. It's fine to play a little ping pong like this. It actually makes it really easy because now the boss is in a very easy to hit spot. Okay, so this turn is pretty much the same as before. We're going to take all the other units, and then we're going to have Springfield go at the end. And we should be getting pretty close to a kill at the end of this turn. Just make sure that there's nobody that needs to be out of range. Chongju does, but the boss is going to teleport over to Springfield when Springfield's done taking her turn. So we're going to have Springfield come to here on her turn. That way when the boss teleports to her, she'll have to make a really awkward decision on where to go. So we'll stand right here.
任務了解。タクティカルナイフ起動。了解。分かった。今だ。了解。今だ。了解。私？
And we're going to bring Lewis over here. Alt. Have Springfield take her double turn. We'll just make it really awkward for the boss to stand anywhere. Stand right here. So we have Springfield's alt up now, so we're pretty safe. The boss is probably going to come to here and AoE everyone. It's like no matter where you stand, the boss always seems to manage to get 3 or 4 people. But that's okay. Springfield and Lewis can take the next hit. So Lewis can be closest target for the sword, and then everyone else can just hide behind her. Springfield's on timeout, but that's okay. Just be at max range for this. Somebody is going to take a ranged attack, the furthest target, which I think is going to be Springfield no matter what. I don't think there's much we can do about that because she can't move right now. And I want everyone in range to attack. So just pray for the best. As long as you don't get hit twice with a sword and a gun, you should be fine. Did that a little out of order. We're gonna stand. Oops, I did this backwards. Alva should be okay. We're gonna try this. Alva should be fine to take the sword. We'll see here. We might have to rewind. Game is really struggling. We're getting close though. If we can just go one more round without any shenanigans, it should be a pretty easy kill. Or maybe we'll just lock in right here and get the kill. Okay, well, I stood like an idiot. I didn't think she could walk that far because I didn't check, but that's okay. She healed a bunch. We should still be good. This is another big turn of damage. Springfield's still stunned. Action complete. Is it because I hit action at the end of the turn there? Well, I'm gonna rewind and do a little bit different there because since I already know Vector's already in the danger zone. I'm gonna modify this turn a little bit, see if it does whatever happened there. Springfield should not have been stunned for a second turn there. I think the game got a little wonky when I hit end turn on the unit. Standing here is gonna make the boss have to choose who they're gonna attack. Either Alva Vector or Chongju. Yep, that's what I figured she would do. Incredibly annoying. Okay, we got our Springfield turn back. Oh no, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. Okay, well. Rewind. That's what I was saying earlier about RNG checks. It's just, you know, sometimes it is what it is. just get to play the RNG game. We have to pull her out of cover.
良い良い了解分かった逃げられるぞ今だはい
Okay. Surely this is a kill this
了
time.
解しました
Let's make sure all the important people are in the spots they need to be.
それがしが守る分かったいるよ
Lewis is just going to be sad. Maybe this will be one more turn after all. I think we're going to have Lewis bait the opposite end of the arena here. Maybe we can... Actually, we might be able to get a kill here. We'll see.
今だ了解任務了解 リミッター解除今だ了解良い今だはいいるよ
We got to kind of burn through the boss's toughness first before we can really do any effective damage.
はい
So she should jump to Lewis. We're all out of support attacks for the team, so I think I'm just going to play it safe and heal myself up. Next turn should be a kill. I said that last turn. I accidentally handed it off to Vector there, which is not the end of the world. Because we're so close to killing the boss. Oh, and she put it on Vector anyway. But anyway, that should be a kill. And,
私がやる
we'll just do this. Should delete her.
脅威を排除する任務了解タクティカルモード起動私がやる今だ分かった了解しましたお待たせしました
We'll hand the debuff back off to Springfield, and that's it. So this team is a little more annoying, but this is actually pretty reliable. This one got really kind of spicy, but I've been able to do it with this team pretty much. Alva does the same thing as Springfield here, keeps the team alive and also gives the shields and does a lot of damage herself. So sub in Alva as well. Well, thanks for hanging out with me for another guide. Hopefully this helped you get the clear if you were struggling. I will do this again on stream in the next week. So if you want to watch that stream, or if you want to come live and ask some questions, I can try some specific team combos out. Or if you know any other team combos that work really well, if you have a video or something, if you want to link it in the comments, I will pin it, and we can get more references for people who don't have the exact same borrows as I do. So if not, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. This is a bug I haven't seen before.